welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Jordan Hadley. I make Disney content on YouTube, and Disney and a little bit of lifestyle will probably be spattered in soon. And I will be participating on the Disney College program for the fall of 2020. God willing, as I'm sure everyone knows, but there's kind of some craziness going on, and I know Fall Advantage has already been canceled. Very devastating to hear that, and I'm really hoping that my program will not be canceled. But meanwhile, we're stuck in quarantine. So today's video I'm super excited to film is what I'm watching on Disney Plus and what you should be watching on Disney Plus during quarantine. So these are some of my favorite shows and movies and things like that I have found on Disney Plus, and that I think you will enjoy too, because we all have a lot more time on our hands, and I don't know, sometimes I get kind of bored with the selection. I have Netflix, I have Hulu, I have Disney Plus, I have HBO Go, but you know, sometimes you just need to watch a Disney movie. And so this is a little bit of a mix of some classic things, some classic movies, some old school shows that really remind me of my childhood, and yeah. So if this sounds like a video that you'll be interested in, please keep watching, and I hope you enjoy. If you're interested in this kind of content, please subscribe and then like this video if you enjoy it, and we'll get into it. If I keep looking down this way, that's because that is where I've got my Disney Plus queued up on that. I would do it on my phone, but I film on my phone, and so obviously I can't be using my phone to do it at the same time. I'm gonna try in this video to kind of give a taste for everyone, so I'll do some old school Disney and old school Disney Channel, and then Pixar, just try and give the full gamut, and some Disney Plus originals, just so that, you know, there's kind of something for everyone. And I hope if you haven't watched any of these shows, this can be helpful for you, or if you have watched these shows, comment it down below and rave about your favorite show, or movie, depending on what it is. And in no particular order. We'll start with what my boyfriend and I are watching now. It's kind of been our current go-to, before bed, that we're watching The Simpsons. I didn't grow up watching The Simpsons, and so we kind of started from the first one. He had watched some of the episodes, but not all of them, and so it's just been a really light-hearted and fun kind of a show. We were watching Bob's Burgers, and I love that show so much, but we needed a new lighthearted 30-minute animated show, and The Simpsons has 30 seasons, so it's great on that front, because if you start watching that, it'll take you a while to finish it. So it's helpful during quarantine, because I always hate when I find a show I really like and there's only 1 or 2 seasons of it, and that gets really frustrating because I want to continue to watch the show and then there's only 2 seasons. But Simpsons would recommend. Very good. There's some dirty humor, not even dirty humor, but there's some more mature humor, but it's not anything that a 10-year-old couldn't watch. So highly recommend that. So jumping into Disney Plus originals, so these movies and shows that are exclusive just to Disney Plus. I'm probably going to mention some that everyone has been obsessing over, The Mandalorian and High School Musical, the musical, the series, which are both so good. So I'm gonna kind of just gloss over those ones. But there are some really, really great Disney Plus originals. Personally, I would highly recommend The Imagineering Story. I'm not big on documentaries at all. I'm not that kind of a media viewer. But I really enjoy The Imagineering Story because I'm a Disney nerd, and because I love going behind the scenes and knowing small details that make the park so special. So that's been that was really cool to watch. My boyfriend's also in industrial engineering, and so he enjoyed kind of the scientifical, how things work sort of aspects. So it really appeals to a broad range of individuals. Another thing that is on my list that kind of follows in that same vein is Disney Insider, which again, kind of the same thing. It's on my list. I still haven't watched it yet, so I think it'll be good. I don't know. It's I'm usually not disappointed with Disney's content. I just really like their movies and shows, and if it's anything like Imagineering Story, I will very much enjoy it. I also really want to see Encore. I have not watched that yet, but I also haven't watched it because it's a little too soon. I graduated from high school like 4 years ago, and on one hand, I was like a total theater kid in high school. Obviously, I majored in theater, but it's a little too soon because there's still a real fear that I peaked in high school, and I feel like that's kind of the overall vibe from what I've seen in the descriptions of Encore. But I am intrigued to watch it. I adore Kristen Bell, obviously. She's so fun in the voice of Princess Anna, and so next I'm going to kind of talk about Disney Channel shows that I have been watching or really enjoy watching growing up, and I want to continue to watch them. So like, again, there are the basic ones. I was obsessed with Lizzie McGuire growing up. I was obsessed with That's So Raven. I liked Even Stevens. I didn't watch as much of Even Stevens, and so it's kind of been cool to go back and watch some of those episodes. There's some like weird gems there though. Those are like the big ones that everyone's super into. Okay, comment down below if you're also into this, but like I loved the Disney Channel animated movies or animated shows that were based on movies that came out between like 2003 and 2006 or something like that. And I'm talking like Lilo and Stitch the series, which is 2 seasons, 25-ish minutes each episode, so it's super easy to binge watch, but they're so cute and they're so nostalgic for me that I love them. And also, my boyfriend and I have gotten so into The Emperor's New School, which I think is partially because I didn't have a decent chunk of my growing up years. And so I would watch Disney Channel shows on Saturday morning on ABC Kids. And it was always the first season of Hannah Montana, the first season of Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, and The Replacements, and The Emperor's New School. And both of us kind of had that same experience where it was just like, this is my childhood. And so it's so funny. It still stands the test of time. 100% would recommend watching The Emperor's New School. And those movies, The Emperor's New Groove, Kronk's New Groove, like those are so underrated movies that you should absolutely watch. Also, Tangled the series is new and it's so cute. I think it's done now, but it was on Disney Channel and the series is so sweet. I would highly recommend watching that if you haven't already. It gives more dimension to Rapunzel, and I just love seeing more interaction, especially between her and her parents, and see how she likes to like learn how to take care of a kingdom and stuff. It's just really neat. Also on my like old Disney Channel list is Phil of the Future. If you haven't watched that, I rewatched it recently and it's so funny, and it was one of my favorite shows growing up when it was on, but it was so awesome to kind of see it again. It's super short. I think they were only there for a season, maybe 2, and so it's an easy binge watch, but it's so funny to see what we thought the future was going to be like in 2004 or 5 or whatever it was. Kim Possible is an all-time favorite. I just always love Kim Possible and always have, and so that's there. Okay, throwing it way back to like when I was young. They also have Hercules, the series, and The Little Mermaid, the series, and so those are before my time. Like I was born in 98, so I was like at the end of, I'm a 90s kid, but I'm not like a 90s kid, and so I had watched like the reruns of those as they were airing on like early on in my life, and it was so cool. The Little Mermaid, the series, was the first thing that I watched when I got Disney Plus. It was just so fun and nostalgic to kind of go back and celebrate in the nostalgia that I didn't even really get to have. So there are obviously a couple of franchises I'm a huge Star Wars nut. I would a million times recommend that anyone take this time where we have time and binge watch all 9 of the major films, and then do, you know, the kind of inserted films, so Solo and Rogue One, because those are such good films, and it's really cool to see. I would highly recommend watching them in the order that they were actually released in. I mean, obviously it makes most sense to go 1 to 9, but if you watch them 4 through 6 and then 1 through 3 and then 7 through 9, it's so interesting because you see the evolution of how the films came to be, and it's really, really neat to watch. You could go and watch all the Marvel movies. I think most of them are on there. There might be a couple that aren't. But if you Google, there's like the order that you're supposed to watch all the Marvel movies in. Personally, I'm not the biggest Marvel fan. I know my family is super big into Marvel. I don't know. I just don't like the lack of women in comic cartoon things. I think they're interesting, but I would prefer to see more strong female characters. I love Black Widow and I love Scarlet Witch, but I don't know. It's just still very not entirely my speed. But I do like the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Those are all on there. Again, this is kind of like if you want to just sit down and binge watch a bunch of movies from one series. Sometimes I like that, but I think it's always harder to do it with movies than it is with series. I'd kind of rather just sit down and watch 10 episodes of a half-hour show instead of 5 movies that are 2 hours long. There are plenty of like classic Disney movies that are on Disney Plus. Obviously, it's Disney Plus. Some of the best ones that I found that I've watched were obviously Hercules. That's been one of my favorites for a long time. I think it was on Netflix for a while too, but it's on Disney Plus now, and I love Hercules. The score is so good, and they're making it into a Broadway musical, fun fact. Also, movies that I really liked were 101 Dalmatians was really fun to go back and rewatch. All of the different Aladdin movies, I grew up loving those movies. We watched them, I don't even know how many times growing up. There's all the fun, really weird sequels. So, like, if you haven't watched it, I'd highly recommend, like, the Little Mermaid prequel and sequel. Those are fun. Ariel's, yeah, they're a time. And the Aladdin has 3 movies. Oh my gosh. Atlantis, if you have not watched it, go do it right now. There's 2 movies, and they're arguably some of the best written and animated movies that Disney did between like 1995 and like 2005. Like, honestly, they're so good. They're so underrated. I love them so much. Another really sweet one that I want to watch really badly and just have not brought myself to watch yet is Brother Bear. It's on there and it's so sweet. I remember when that came out and it was so cute, and I have to watch that soon. I already said The Emperor's New Groove. I mean, you cannot go wrong. They're just so funny. Meet the Robinsons is a really sweet movie. I loved that growing up, and that's on there. I've watched that a couple times. Also, Oliver and Company, go watch it. It's so 80s and it's so fun, and it's like just hysterical. So that's pretty much it for like classic Disney movies. Now we'll talk about what Pixar movies are on my watch list, because there's some really good Pixar movies. Honestly, they oftentimes have more depth and dimension than some other Disney movies, which sometimes you just want to think, but also not think too hard. And that's what Pixar movies are great for. So in my watch list, I have Inside Out is one of my all-time favorites. WALL-E is so good. Like, that was one of my favorites growing up too, and it's so relevant and real. It's a little scary, but it's a really great one. Also, Merida's just like one of my favorite Disney princesses, and Brave is just such a good, wholesome, well-animated movie. I might be a little bit biased because I have Celtic heritage, but it's so fun. yeah, those are kind of my main top 3 for Pixar movies. Just a couple of honorable mention DCOMs, because a lot of the DCOMs are on there. I really liked the 13th Year, the Xenon movies, and Smart House. Those ones were like my go-tos. This video is gonna be really long, but it's fine. I almost debate just not even mentioning like the newer Disney movies that I would recommend watching. They're just so kind of self-explanatory. I mean, Tangled, Frozen, Frozen 2, Princess and the Frog is a great one. They're kind of mainstreamy, so I mean, little shout out, but I'm not going to go too far into them because of course you should watch them. The last thing that is absolutely on my list, and I just need the right opportunity to watch, is the Disney Family Sing-Along. I am a singer. My boyfriend likes to sing. We are very excited to just like, we didn't watch it when it was airing on ABC, and so we're both super excited to sit down and watch it. We just want to not be in close proximity to so many other people when we do, because I get very loud and nerdy when it comes to Disney songs, and so yeah, so sorry if this video is really long and rambly, but I hope it helps you a little bit in finding inspiration for shows that you want to watch in order to add some Disney magic into your quarantine days. I know I love using my little Disney popcorn bucket and making some popcorn and curling up with a cozy blanket and watching stuff. That's been a big move for quarantine, but if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. Again, like, comment, share, all those things your favorite YouTubers ask you to do. It really helps me out, and I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers before my birthday. We'll see. I think we're at like 16, 17 now. So yeah, I will be posting much more frequently, so be sure to hit the notification bell, because I have a week left of school, basically, like a week left of classes and then finals. And so as soon as that's done, I will have so much more time to like sit down and film. There was no video last week because I was working on a video for my honors project, and that was done. So I'm a senior and I'll be done school, which is so weird to think about, in a couple weeks. And so I will have more time to be making YouTube videos, and I firmly intend on making YouTube videos. So again, sorry for my rambling, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Bye!